The Muslim population is expected to grow at more than double the rate of the global population by 2060. Experts also predict that Islam will become the largest religion in the world, overtaking Christianity sometime after 2050. As of April 2023, there were over 2 billion Muslims worldwide, making up about 24.1% of the global population. This makes Islam the second largest religion after Christianity. Interestingly, no countries outright ban Muslims from entering based solely on their religion. However, there are certain places with restrictions, tensions, or policies that make it difficult for Muslims to visit, especially from specific countries or regions. In today's video, we'll show you the top 10 countries where Muslims face significant challenges in 2024. Before we begin, we'd like to ask for your support. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Number 10, Slovakia. Slovakia is home to unique attractions like castles, caves, hot springs, traditional architecture, the European Dead Sea, and untouched wilderness, making it a special destination. In 2023, Slovakia's population was about 5.43 million, slightly up from 5.41 million a decade ago. Its Muslim population is very small, with around 3,862 people identifying as Muslim in 2021, although community estimates suggest the number is closer to 6,000. The country has 7 mosques. Islamophobia has been increasing in Slovakia, reflecting a wider trend across Europe. Anti-Muslim attitudes often appear in politics, media, and public opinion. Right-wing politicians, particularly during the 2015 migrant crisis, used anti-Muslim rhetoric to gain support. Former Prime Minister Robert Fico famously stated that Islam has no place in Slovakia, fueling negative perceptions of Muslims. Surveys show many Slovaks associate Islam with terrorism and extremism, contributing to a hostile environment. Hate crimes, discrimination, and harassment against Muslims have been reported. In 2016, Slovakia passed a law requiring religious groups to have at least 50,000 members for official recognition, making it almost impossible for Muslims to establish recognized mosques or schools. Slovak media often portrays Islam negatively, focusing on terrorism and cultural differences, which reinforces stereotypes. International human rights groups have criticized Slovakia's treatment of Muslims and urged the country to adopt more inclusive and tolerant policies. Despite this, the Muslim community remains marginalized and vulnerable. Number 9, Bhutan. Bhutan is often called the happiest place on earth because of its unique focus on gross national happiness, prioritizing the well-being and happiness of its people over just economic growth. Islam is a minor religion in Bhutan, with an estimated 5,000 to 7,000 Muslims in the country. Despite the small Muslim population, there have been some challenges for religious minorities. Bhutan is a predominantly Buddhist nation, and its government places a strong emphasis on preserving Buddhist culture. While the constitution guarantees religious freedom, promoting non-Buddhist religions is limited, which can affect minorities, including Muslims. There are no public mosques, and Islamic practices are mostly private, reflecting the struggles faced by religious minorities. However, Islamophobia is not a widespread issue in Bhutan. The challenges Muslims face stem more from the country's focus on Buddhist identity rather than active discrimination or hostility. In summary, Bhutan does not have significant Islamophobic activities, but its emphasis on Buddhist traditions creates an environment that can be restrictive for religious minorities. Number 8, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a country rich in history and culture, known for its ancient civilizations and people's strong love for their traditions. It is also famous for its stunning natural beauty. Islam is the third largest religion in Sri Lanka, with about 1.9 million followers, making up 9.7% of the population, according to the 2012 census. Islamophobia in Sri Lanka has become a concern, especially after the end of the civil war in 2009. Tensions between the majority Sinhalese Buddhist population and the Muslim minority have grown due to nationalist groups spreading anti-Muslim sentiments. This has led to violent incidents like the 2014 Aluthgama riots and the 2018 Kandy riots, where Muslim properties were destroyed and lives were lost. The 2019 Easter Sunday bombings by Islamist extremists further increased Islamophobia, resulting in widespread harassment and discrimination against Muslims. Government actions, such as banning face coverings temporarily and mandating cremation for COVID-19 victims, have added to the feeling of marginalization among the Muslim community. In summary, Islamophobia in Sri Lanka stems from ethnic, religious, and political factors, creating significant challenges for the Muslim minority in the country. Number 7, India. India is known for its rich culture, iconic landmarks like the Taj Mahal, diverse food, colorful festivals, and spiritual sites. From the majestic Himalayas to Kerala's serene backwaters, along with lively cities like Delhi and Mumbai, India draws countless tourists each year. Interestingly, India is home to 10.9% of the world's Muslim population, with around 213 million Muslims in 2020, making up about 15% of the country's population. However, Islamophobia has become a growing issue in India, especially in recent years. Anti-Muslim sentiments have increased due to political speeches, communal violence, and social media, causing a divide between the Hindu majority and the Muslim minority. Notable incidents include the 2002 Gujarat riots, the 2020 Delhi riots, and mob lynchings of Muslims accused of cow slaughter. Policies like the Citizenship Amendment Act and the National Register of Citizens have been criticized for targeting Muslims unfairly. Social media has further amplified hate speech and misinformation, leading to violence. The Muslim community faces discrimination, exclusion, and economic challenges, making Islamophobia a serious concern in India today. Number 6, Central African Republic. Shared by Chad, Sudan, South Sudan, and Congo, with a population of approximately 5.5 million people. The Central African Republic is one of Africa's smaller nations. By population, Christianity is the predominant religion, with around 80% of the population identifying as Christian. The majority of Christians in CAR are Roman Catholic. The majority of the population lives in rural areas. The official languages are French and Sango, with Sango being the lingua franca used for everyday communication. As of June 2024, Islam is the second largest religion in the Central African Republic. Muslims make up a smaller portion of the population, with 750,000 people, which is around 8.9% of the total population identifying as Muslim. One of the most pressing issues for Muslims in CAR has been the outbreak of religious conflict. Since 2013, the country has been embroiled in a brutal civil war, primarily between predominantly Muslim CA rebels and mostly Christian anti-Balaka militias. This conflict has led to widespread violence against Muslims, with many being forced to flee their homes or face severe attacks. The violence has resulted in a significant displacement crisis. Many Muslims have been forced to flee their homes due to threats and attacks, creating a large population of internally displaced persons and refugees. Reports have emerged of targeted attacks against Muslim communities, with accusations of ethnic cleansing in some regions. Number 5, Japan. Japan is famous for its unique mix of old traditions and modern technology. Its culture includes tea ceremonies, kabuki theater, and celebrations like Hanami. With a population that is over 98% ethnically Japanese, the country has fewer immigrants compared to other developed nations. The Muslim population in Japan is small, estimated at around 100,000 to 200,000, including expatriates and Japanese converts. Muslims in Japan face several challenges, including limited access to religious accommodations. Finding halal food is often difficult, as many restaurants don't offer halal options. There are also few mosques and prayer spaces, making it hard for Muslims to pray or join community events. Celebrating Islamic traditions can be challenging too. For example, during Ramadan, finding suitable places to break the fast can be a struggle. Addressing these issues requires continued dialogue, education, and support from both the community and the broader society. Number 4, China. China is a fascinating mix of ancient traditions and modern life. You'll find centuries-old temples next to tall skyscrapers, colorful street food stalls, imperial palaces, and unique natural landscapes. While Chinese people value their traditions, they also enjoy aspects of Western pop culture. As of April 2024, China's Muslim population is around 25 million, making up less than 2% of the total population. This includes 10 Muslim-majority ethnic groups, which represent 20% of China's 55 ethnic minorities. The largest Muslim groups are the Uyghurs and Hui, who together account for nearly 90% of the Muslim population in China. Islamophobia in China mostly impacts the Uyghur Muslim minority in the Xinjiang region. The Chinese government has imposed strict measures on the Uyghurs, including mass detention in re-education camps, heavy surveillance, and limits on religious practices. While the government claims these actions are part of counter-terrorism efforts, they have been widely criticized internationally for human rights violations. These measures involve forced cultural assimilation, suppression of Uyghur traditions, and interference in religious life, highlighting broader issues of state control and repression of ethnic minorities. Number 3, Angola. Angola is known for its natural resources, particularly oil and diamonds. The capital city, Luanda, is known for its lively atmosphere and beautiful beaches. The Kangela Falls, located in the Mange province, is the second largest waterfall in Africa. And a must-see for nature enthusiasts, Angola is a predominantly Christian country, with Islam being a minority religion. As of 2014 census, there are 195,000 Muslims in Angola, representing 1% of total population. Most Muslims in Angola are Sunni. Islamophobia in Angola is relatively less prominent compared to other regions, largely due to the country's small Muslim population, which constitutes a minor percentage of the overall population. Most Angolans are Christian, with a small minority practicing Islam, although there are occasional reports of discrimination and social tension. There is no widespread or systematic Islamophobia. In Angola, the Muslim community generally integrates well into society, and there are no significant conflicts or policies specifically targeting Muslims. The country's issues with religious tolerance are more commonly associated with broader challenges related to religious diversity and freedom. Number 2, North Korea. North Korea, one of the world's poorest nations, surprisingly has one of the largest militaries and invests heavily in nuclear weapons and missile programs. In 2010, the Pew Research Center estimated the Muslim population in North Korea to be about 3,000, up from 1,000 in 1990. However, a 2020 report from the U.S. State Department states that Muslims, Christians, and followers of Chinese folk religions make up less than 0.5% of the population. Officially, North Korea does not recognize any religion, and Islam is outright banned. Due to the country's extreme isolation and strict control, there is little information about Islamophobia in North Korea. The Muslim population is extremely small, mostly limited to diplomats and expatriates, as there are no mosques or Islamic institutions in the country. The government suppresses all forms of religious practice, which likely impacts Muslims in the same way as other religious groups. However, the lack of reliable public information makes it difficult to determine if specific anti-Muslim attitudes or actions exist. Number 1, Myanmar. Myanmar, often called the Golden Land, is famous for its stunning golden temples like the Shwedagon Pagoda and its peaceful spots for relaxation. The country also boasts beautiful beaches and countless Buddhist temples, making it a breathtaking destination. As of 2016, about 2.3% of Myanmar's population, or 1,147,495 people, identified as Muslim. This was a significant drop from the 4.3% recorded in the 2014 census, likely due to the large number of Rohingya refugees who fled the country in 2017. Islamophobia is a major problem in Myanmar, closely linked to its ethnic and religious conflicts. The Rohingya Muslim minority has faced severe persecution, including violence, displacement, and human rights abuses, especially after the military crackdown in 2017. This crackdown, along with negative portrayals of the Rohingya by the government and parts of the Buddhist majority, has fueled widespread anti-Muslim sentiment. The persecution has drawn international criticism and created a humanitarian crisis, with many Rohingya fleeing to Bangladesh. Other Muslim communities in Myanmar also face discrimination, highlighting broader issues of intolerance. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.